Okay, I have not touched this yet, but remember I was saying I can't remember what those were for. Well, one of them I remember is for the ceiling fan. And that's got to be that one. And now the ceiling fan is going off. Okay. This was the one I wasn't sure where that went. Okay, so right now I have not done anything with this dimmer yet. The lights are on. Okay, the can lights are on. And now I'm going to hold this up here and I'm going to first off see if I can dim them. Okay. And I'm dimming the switch. I'm pushing the dimmer down and look at the lights. Oh, that's cool. See, bright. And I'm dimming them down. Okay. So far so good, right? Okay, now I'm going to hit the switch, the paddle at the bottom, and the lights should go off. And the lights do go off. Okay? Now, I'm not saying this should be right, but now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to turn this on and the lights should go back on. And they do. Okay? Now I'm going to turn this one off. The lights should go off. And I should hit this paddle and this should make the lights go back on. And they do. Okay? Turn it off. Turn that on. Come over here. Make sure it goes off when I hit this one. And they do. When I do my dimmer, and the dimmer works. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. I've hooked it up the right way by Joe. It just threw me off on how they had it. How they had this wired. And I don't really think they had it wired properly, but somehow or the other it seemed to work fine. And incidentally, this dimmer switch, it said there's little paddle, there's little side deals on the side here, and they say if you're going to put this one, let's say this switch here, you were going to put a dimmer in there too, and it had these wings on there on both sides. Well, the ones that on the right, you'd have to bend these off, and these ones on the left, I would have to bend these back and forth and break that off so that it would fit in there. Now they say never take the outside ones off for some reason, and I don't have to break these off over here because I don't have another dimmer switch here. It should fit in there fine. Okay. And the other thing they had, it was really slick, this back trim, this trim can pull off. You depress it here, you can pop that off, and then there's a little set screw down here. And it was like, I was looking at the directions, and where did I see that? That might be on the other page. Look at all these directions, by the way. Now one is in French, I think. One's in Spanish. This is English. See, English, Espanol, and this is French. I don't know how you say French. I don't know how you say that. But anyways, you see this here, it said number 3, and I'm reading on that, and I'm like, what's the deal with that? And it was like, bulbs turn on at high level. Symptom, here, if you're doing troubleshooting, symptom, bulbs turn off while being dimmed. Or bulbs turn on at high light level but do not turn on at low light level or take too long to turn on at low end. Or bulbs flicker or flash when dimmed to a low light level. Solution: verify all bulbs are marked dimmable and are on the list approved CFLs, LEDs. So you got to make sure your bulbs are dimmable, and mine are. Mine are incandescent floodlight bulbs, and they're probably 60 watts. If I were to change them to LEDs, I'd have to get LEDs that were dimmable. You can get dimmable and non-dimmable LEDs, and I don't even know if CFLs, if you can dim those. You'd have to look and make sure. So if you have an issue with your dimmer switch not working, you mainly check that. But then here's another solution. Turn up clockwise adjustment dial 3 slowly until symptom is no longer present. And I'm like, what? Turn what up? Turn up clockwise adjustment. And I'm looking on here, and I see a number 3, and there's a little area right there, and I'm like looking at the cover, saying, how do you do that? Because I can't even see how to get in there. Boy, this thing gets warm too. I think all dimmers do that. And you can pop the trim off on this back side, and this small trim piece pulls off, and then you can turn this little set screw on there if you have certain issues, if your light bulbs are flickering or different things. And I've never had a dimmer do that. I've always had just dimmers on off and dim it up and down, and that's it. I've never seen anything else. Okay, but this one you can pull that off. That was kind of slick. Okay, so before I put this back in there, I'm going to shut the power back off, so I'm going to do that right now. Very important. Don't forget to do that, okay? I was doing a light one time, and I forgot to do that, and I just started getting my hands in there and shocked myself. So just be careful about that. I'm going back to the panel and shutting off the breaker. Okay, so my test is done. And I'm going to go ahead and take this all apart again, because I'm going to make these wires a little bit smaller. Okay. So this black, I'm just going to remember this left one is the black. So the red, which is the power on this switch here too, is going to go to the black. And my red and white one is going to the red. Okay. And just for ducks, I'm gonna take this whole thing off, because I really got to make sure now that I can fit all these wires back in there. And I see some wires in here. Let's get you. You see that? The thing is, these wires are in my way. These two wires. I can't push the box back in there all the way. And see, I don't think I can push this over. I think I have to push it back and to the left a little bit. And they look pretty stiff, but I've got to really bear down on it. I really don't want to get my my pliers out. I could grab it with my pliers and push on it. What else do I have? Let's see if I grab this with my pliers and grab it, I could have a tendency to get right in there and scar up the side of the wire itself.